Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? Welcome back to the 1 0 show. Jeez, we have a tasty menu for you guys today. We've got plenty of Premier League to get through. The relegation battle is looking unbelievable. We've got Champions League that just happened this morning to wrap up with, and we've got some belter fixtures coming up this weekend. Stay tuned and also check out who this video is sponsored by right after this break. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, check out the link in the description down below if you do want to rock yourself a 1 0 shirt. But also, while you're down there, drop a little comment, drop a like, drop a subscription to the channel. It all helps it out. If you think your friends will like the video too, go share it with them. But plenty of stuff to talk about today. I'm filming this on a Wednesday, so this morning we had the Champions League match, Liverpool versus Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. Lewandowski continues to be one of the most unappreciated players in the world and of all time, because he's not playing for a flashy league or a flashy sort of club every single year, other than Bayern Munich, who seem to win it every year. What I mean by flashy, he scores a hat-trick in 20 minutes sort of thing. He's unbelievable. They cruise past Leipzig in the second leg. Liverpool, although on the other hand, don't cruise past as of such. They lose the game 1 0 to Inter Milan at Anfield. They didn't look too great. They were good, but they weren't great. They weren't the best as what they could have been. Inter Milan, though, the red card, I think maybe, killed momentum a little bit, in the sense of just in the later stages of the game, you could see tired, fatigue was becoming an issue, and players on the attack, there wasn't much to do. And we know how good Liverpool are in the midfield and defensively as well. So it's hard for them, with one less player, to try and throw all the bodies up front. But meanwhile, trying to remember that, hey, if we all go up front, they've got Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, Diego Jota and Sadio Mane all up front that can score a very quick counter-attack. But overall, I think Liverpool fans, I think this is an important loss for you. And I say it's an important loss because, I mean, you guys lost the second leg, the fixture. But obviously you advance in the Champions League. But I think it's an important loss in the sense of, it's a bit of a reality check, a bit of a, okay, maybe we needed this just to lower. I don't think it's a shell-shocking loss for the season, but it's a bit of a reality check in the sense of, what, we were on such a high. People were saying, we got the cup trophy. Man City, Liverpool fans, everybody's thinking maybe Liverpool can be the ones to knock City off the Premier League and also maybe win the Champions League. They're one of the favourites for the Champions League. Maybe this loss makes them go, okay, hold on, let's just pull things back a little bit. We played okay, we didn't play bad, but let's just pull things back a little bit, focus on what we know, and let's go back to square one. So I'm not saying it's a panic sort of loss, but I'm saying it's maybe a good loss which can make it go, okay, let's just bring it back a little bit, because Liverpool perform the best when they're sort of the underdogs as of such. Liverpool perform best when people don't expect them to win or when people don't want them to win. And I think Liverpool now, that loss will sort of be, okay, you know what, let's go back to just settle down a little bit, keep the lid a little bit, and then bang, we can go once again. So, big game tomorrow. Whenever you're watching this, probably Real Madrid PSG just happened that morning. Huge game that. PSG, I think without Mbappe with a leg injury, I think Sergio Ramos is out as well for that, which, ooh, surprise, surprise. Drop in the comments who you think, whoever won that match, was it a good match? Let me know, because you're in the future, I'm in the past. Plenty more to talk about from the weekend. We've got a question that came in from Dimmy, big fan of the channel. Dimmy, Pep or Clop, pound for pound, who would you have? I'd go Pep. I'd still go Pep. I think Pep has revolutionised how we play football in the last 10-15 years. I know he doesn't have that Champions League with Man City. Klopp has got the Champions League. I'm not saying Klopp isn't good. I think Klopp is an unbelievable manager. And I think his man management is second to none. And and you were seeing with Man United, man management is just as important as being able to coach. Mikel Arteta has shown us that with Aubameyang, the man management. If Mikel Arteta didn't think Aubameyang was the right fit for the dressing room, I don't care how many goals you score. If you are going to bring your toxic sort of behaviour and this negative attitude to the club, you can go find somewhere else. Pound for pound, I think Pep technically and tactically and just as an overall footballing brain, I think Pep is second to none. Not that Klopp isn't, but I think Klopp needs to also just do what Pep's been doing for a longer period of time. Because before Klopp came to Liverpool, yes, he was doing good stuff at Dortmund, but Pep was at Barcelona. He was at Bayern Munich. He's worked with unbelievable teams, Pep Guardiola, but I think Klopp, if he can do it for another 5, 6, 7 years and keep whichever team he's managing right at the top, then I think we can have that debate. But pound for pound, I still go Pep. But Klopp is, Arguably, I mean, I think he's top 2 managers in the world, top 3 managers in the world, 100%. You'd be lying if you said otherwise. We got another question in by Matty Boy, and he said about who Havertz and Lukaku. Has Havertz sort of ruined Lukaku's Chelsea career? Hey, I agree. Havertz playing this sort of false 9 role, this sort of striker-ish role, attacking-minded midfielder that's got the license to roam, sort of that false 9, as I said. The man can finish. He's a gun player. He's building a connection now with Mason Mount, which we might have seen in their celebrations and stuff. They're building a bit of a reputation. I think Havertz is the reason why Romelu Lukaku will leave Chelsea in the summer. And Lukaku's only going to be there for 1 season. That means it's huge money signing. Romelu Lukaku, Chelsea fans. Man United, he sucked at Man United, but he's got to be different at Chelsea. Can you hear that? Yeah, it smells like bullshit, doesn't it? I think Havertz has been unbelievable this season. He's still young, which is a scary thing, and I think he's going to do even more. He silenced the haters from last season where he became a bit of a meme, but I think Havertz, the new role he's sort of playing, he's been playing this role for a while, but I think it's a perfect fit for him, and I think he's going to continue to do it. And I don't think many people have clicked onto exactly what Havertz is doing. Now, we're going to get into the topic of the week, and it's the relegation battle. Last week, we focused on the top 4 race. Jeez, was that an interesting race, because Manchester United, we'll talk about it quickly, a very, 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 very disappointing Manchester derby, and I think overall we are screwed. I think Manchester United are in a lot of trouble. We went from having such a positive mindset, such a high with Ronaldo and all this sort of stuff, Varane coming in. There needs to be a massive overhaul of the squad. Jadon Sancho is the only positive of the last month or so. Jadon Sancho has been very, very good. Jesse Lingard doesn't look like he wants to be there. Marcus Rashford. There's rumours coming around that Marcus Rashford wants to leave. Marcus Rashford's contract expires in 2023. This is all just a play for him to get more money. But at the same time, Rashford, if you're sitting here concerned and surprised why you're not playing, look at your own form. If you were in good form and you were putting in good performances week in, week out, when you did get the opportunity, but then you continue to stay on the bench, then I'd say, okay, Rashi, no worries. Maybe you've got something to argue about. You've been horrible. Horrible. Disgusting. So don't go in there and say, oh, I'm confused. How true all these rumours are, I don't know. I love Rashford. A lot of the fans are turning on him. I'm not going to turn on our own players, except for Harry Maguire, because he's a shit. But I'm not going to turn on Rashford. I want all the boys. I'd be happy to keep this same team if they were good. But the problem is, they're not good. I think Scotty McTominay is a future Man United captain. I know what you're maybe thinking. What are you talking about? He's poo-poo caca. There's players there I think McTominay can do it right. There's a James Garner who's tearing it up for Nottingham Forest in that holding midfield position. If he doesn't get an opportunity next year, we need to sign a midfielder, yes. But he needs opportunities. Why can't we call him back on loan? Nottingham Forest won't give him back, but we're Man United. We should have a bit more of a pull over Nottingham Forest. I could talk about days and days on Manchester United, but I'm not going to bore you guys because I do it what feels like every week. But we're going to go into the relegation battle, and I've got 6 teams there. Norwich, who are sitting last. Watford, Burnley, Everton in 17th position, 1 point above Burnley. Leeds, Brentford and Newcastle. Now straight away I'm going to go take out Newcastle and Brentford. I think Newcastle have done an unbelievable job. I think if you haven't watched True Geordie's podcast with Kieran Trippier, brilliant. Trippier, very, very smart person, very, very smart player, and just what he said. Newcastle's got a new life for them. Eddie Howe deserves a lot of credit because Frank Lampard came in. He says the other day it's impossible to go on an 11-game win streak. Eddie Howe's been not losing for 10 games, bro. And he's got them. They were deep in the relegation battle, Newcastle. But Newcastle look like they're sort of prepared to be a little bit more gritty than what Everton are. Newcastle look like they're a little bit more, you know what, we can do this. They battered Everton. Newcastle realised, I'm going to go in for the ball. We're not getting the Geordies into the championship. Kieran Trippier was very well spoken on the podcast with True Geordie, saying some great stuff about what it means for the fans and how just the whole vibe and the feeling at the club has changed. I think that's top notch for Kieran Trippier as well. I think he's really making himself a leader. And we spoke about who's going to be that Vincent Kompany type signing for Newcastle, similar to the Man City time. I don't think we'll look at Trippier the same way as Kompany because Kompany obviously came when he was younger and he had more time as a captain or whatever. But I think Kieran Trippier, if they can continue what the feeling as an outsider seems like in Newcastle, I think Kieran Trippier could very well easily become a massive, massive, massive talking point in 10, 15 years to come when we look back at how Newcastle went, and Trippier being that first signing of this new Newcastle era. So I'm going to take out Newcastle and Brentford from this relegation scrap. But you look at Norwich, who's last on 17 points. Watford on 19 points. I'm going to go out and say Norwich and Watford, you're already done. This then leaves it to... It's a huge talking point now. It is a massive talking point because I think Burnley are hitting form, and they're not playing too bad. In typical Sean Dyche fashion, Burnley have been okay. They've had a lot of games in hand. They've played 26 games, so they still have a few games in hand. Everton have got a couple games in hand as well, but I think Burnley... Something tells me Burnley might stay up. Now we've got to look at their next 5 fixtures. Burnley have got Brentford, Man City, Norwich, West Ham, Wolves. You think that's a bit tough? Okay. Everton's got Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Man United, Liverpool. Based on current form, Everton goes 0-5 in the next 5 games. Based on current form, Burnley maybe get a point against Brentford, probably beat Norwich. They've got Wolves at home. They could even beat a Wolves at home or get a draw. We could be seeing in 5 games' time Everton in the relegation zone. That is wild. It is wild. Their defence is a shambles. Michael Keane sucks. Seamus Coleman should have retired a couple of years ago. Holgate just doesn't seem up to it. They let Lucas Digne walk away because he had a fallout with the manager. Stupid. I think the relegation battle is unbelievable. I think Leeds will be safe. I think Jesse March could do a little thing. They've got Villa, Norwich, Wolves, Southampton, Watford in the next 5. I think they've got a couple favourable fixtures, and I think the new American manager should be looking at that, thinking, you know what, maybe we've got an opportunity, and I think they should keep themselves up. I think it will be close, but I think they will keep themselves up. Brentford, on the other hand, have got a difficult run, but I think they'll be good enough as well. I honestly sit here today, looking at the next 5 games, struggling to see a way Everton don't end up in the relegation zone. And I think a lot of it comes down to Burnley hitting form at the right time. I think Weghorst is a great player, the striker. I think he's a very Burnley player. But if Burnley can get away with staying up in the league this season, they've done a madness. Now, surely Everton do not get relegated. Surely Frank Lampard, the legend, the icon Frank Lampard, doesn't come into an Everton job and get sacked and get relegated. Sorry, surely not. Surely Frank Lampard, the superstar, the icon, doesn't come into Everton over a Rafa Benitez and get relegated. Surely not with players like Donny van der Beek, Allen, Doucouré, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Gordon. I tell you what, it's interesting, but Burnley are hitting form at the right time, and it's looking tasty. My final verdict: I think Everton are going to get relegated. Oh, no, I don't know. I think I'll go for here because we got no idea what's going to happen. I think in the next 5 rounds, Everton will be in the relegation zone. They would have dropped in there at least once or twice. If not, at the end of the 5 rounds, they would be in there. So it's crazy. It is crazy to think. Drop it down in the comments below. Do you think Everton will get relegated? It's going to be unbelievable if they do. But it's going to be tough. They've got a very, very, very tough couple of fixtures. They've got 3 home games, so maybe Goodison Park, but we know when it's not going well at Goodison Park, they turn on their team very quick. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how everything goes. Now, we've got some massive games coming up this week, and massive games for the relegation race, massive games for the top 4, and beginning us off with one of those huge games is Manchester United versus Tottenham. Conte versus Rangnick. Last time Tottenham came to Old Trafford, what was the score? 6-1, that's right, there's no one there. But it was 6-1. They beat us 6-1. It was that game. It was that game when they just whooped us. Manchester United don't lose this game. But at the same time, Tottenham had a good win against Everton. Harry Kane is hitting form. Proving the haters that, hey, don't talk shit on me. Come on. You know who I am. I'm Harry Kane. This game could go either way. If Tottenham come to Old Trafford, based on the form, I know they had a good game against Everton, but Everton suck. Based on the form that they've been in recently, if they come to Old Trafford and they sweep Manchester United, I think it's a new low for Man United. And I think it's goodbye top 4. I really do think it is. If Tottenham can come to Old Trafford, clean the carpet, Harry Kane bags in a couple goals, United struggle, I think it's goodbye top 4, and it's doomsday. If it already hasn't happened, it's doomsday. And we might be jumping the gun, we might be overreacting, but it's very, very frightening what the next couple of weeks could hold for Manchester United. It's very, very frightening. I think United will win. Purely because I hope Ralph Rangnick has ripped them a new. But at the same time, I think we might also see a very different lineup. I think we might see an Elanga, a Sancho, like just these guys as perfect starters. We're hearing a lot of rumours that the one thing that Rangnick doesn't want is for people to come out in public and say stuff. And supposedly people have. Now, there's also rumours that there's a lot of players that have played their last game for Manchester United. There's a lot. Now, whether it's the likes of Harry Maguire, maybe because he sucks. He dummied the ball when he tried to clear the ball. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. But I think Man United will get the win. But let me know down in the comments below. I don't think it's going to be easy. Chelsea versus Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, I spoke about Newcastle previously. Hey, well done. I love it. Up the Geordies. Up the joys. I think Chelsea will get a win. But I think if there's a moment or a team that can upset Chelsea, based on recent performances, it's a Joe Linton midfield masterclass. It's a Newcastle masterclass. Bang! Come on, you Geordies. I think Chelsea get the win here. Next up, we've got Arsenal versus Leicester. And I'm going to make a video next week about Arsenal. We're talking a little bit about them in more depth. Whether they can actually make the top 4. Have they actually had as good of a season as what people think people were saying and hyping up? I'm not too sure. But I think Arsenal will get the result against Leicester. And Arsenal, I think top 4 could be theirs to lose now. They're playing one game a week. They're out of all the cup competitions. They're not in Europe. Manchester United still in Europe for the foreseeable future. We'll see. I think top 4 could be Arsenal's to lose. Based on form, they're the best team heading in. Based on player availability and stuff like that, they're fine. But they've got Lacazette and Nketiah leading the line. And in desperate times when you need goals, I'm not too sure if those two can get it away for you. I think pressure could become a massive thing for Arsenal in this top 4 race as well. If they do sit 4th on the ladder for a little bit, when it comes to crunch time near the end of the season, a lot of these players haven't been in an environment like it before. The young team, Odegaard, what a signing, 30 mil. But a lot of these players haven't been in that pressure sort of environment before, so I'm not too sure if they're really going to be able to stick it through. But Arteta is building quite a team, and Arsenal, I've got to give credit where credit's due. They've been top notch. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I've been Costa. This is 1 0. I'm going to bring you a 1 0 FC video on Monday, so make sure to check that out. 1 0 FC, we're back, and we're 2 games, 2 wins. You love to see it. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow all the socials and the links down below. I'll see you guys next week. Deuces.